In wake of King Charles coming over on a state visit to the United States of America, there's actually a very interesting episode of Piers Morgan Uncensored where you have a British panel and you've got Sean Spicer, and in this clip, the British panel cannot contain themselves when it comes to some of the stupid comments that Sean Spicer is making in regards to Donald Trump, democracy, the 2020 election, and is Donald Trump holding up and maintaining the importance of the US Constitution. As usual, let's watch the clip in full. I'm going to hold my commentary, my thoughts, and my perspective towards the end. Let's get into it.
Look, no, all due respect.
Really?
Our former government.
Really?
Really. Yeah, really. I love it because here in America, we had these no kings protests, which is ironic from the sense that there seems to be an overlooking of the last election where Donald Trump won the popular vote. He won all 7 swing states. We had a very robust democracy. It's like when the left and the folks in the media don't get their way, somehow democracy is under attack. If you look, ironically, it was the left. It was Kamala Harris that was coronated. Maybe we should have had a no Queens rally because it was Kamala Harris that didn't have to face the primary voters in the Democratic Party to become the Democratic nominee. It was Kamala Harris that lost an election very profoundly to Donald Trump. We went through our own exercise, which is called an election, which is the cornerstone of any republic, which is what we have, just to give you guys a little lesson in what form of government we actually do have here. And frankly, I'm looking forward. No, thank you, because that's what it is. I know you may not want to call it that, but technically it's true. But I'm looking forward to the king coming. We have, as we like to say, a special relationship with Great Britain. And on our eve of our 250th anniversary, regardless of what president's in office at the time, I think there's it's very fitting for the king in particular to come over and to discuss the relationship, the formation of our country, and the current relation that we have. I think it's great that he's coming. I know that there's a ton of side issues, and there always will be. At some time or another, it won't matter. There'll always be something outstanding. I'm glad that the king is coming. I think it's a great honor that he gets to address Congress as his mother did. So I'm looking forward to his visit. I'm looking for him to celebrating 250th years. But frankly, with all due respect, we don't need any lessons in how to conduct our business from the folks over in the UK.
Okay, well, little warning card there. Let me bring in John Sopel. John, is this a good idea for King Charles? Because the argument is that while there's a war raging, that's inappropriate. And particularly when the President of the United States appears to have gone rogue against this country. He's been very negative about our Prime Minister, about the country, about our military, about the way our military served in Afghanistan, which as somebody who had a brother who served in Afghanistan, I found particularly objectionable, I have to say. But is it right, do you think, that in 3 weeks, King Charles and Queen Camilla go to the United States and have a big state dinner in the middle of a raging war and so on?
I think the thing is very, very awkward and uncomfortable. I was really struck by the statement that came from the palace yesterday, which started on the advice of His Majesty's government. Yes. Like, nothing to do with me. I didn't want to go, but honestly, the government is telling me that I really ought to. And I've had it on good authority that, you know, those in Buckingham Palace, before the second state visit when Donald Trump came back to Britain, thought that it shouldn't go ahead, that he was going to be up in Scotland. He could go and visit his golf course and then pop in for a very nice dinner at Balmoral, and that should be it. And that it was too soon to give Donald Trump an unprecedented second state visit. I remember interviewing Keir Starmer. He said, well, this is unprecedented because Donald Trump is an unprecedented figure. I said, yeah, he's been impeached twice and has got a criminal conviction. As for the democracy point, and Sean's point about, you know, don't lecture us, the 2024 election, Democrats don't seem to like it when they don't win. I 100% agree with you. The 2024 election was entirely fair. Donald Trump won it. All the swing states, absolutely no question about it. What about the 2020 election when Donald Trump lost and there were 63 court cases and the head of election security said it was absolutely fine and the Attorney General said it was absolutely fine and the General Counsel in the White House said it was absolutely fine and one person couldn't accept it Donald Trump. He doesn't have a great record when elections go against him, I would just gently say.
I mean, I will let Sean come back on that in a moment. What I would say about that is I said all this to Trump's face in the last interview we did, and things got very acrimonious. I guess the argument is that in defence of America's democratic process is that Donald Trump did leave the White House, notwithstanding the fact he said the election was rigged and I didn't lose, everything else. He did leave when he was supposed to leave, and democracy was seen to be done. So it may be that he doesn't... I mean, you know, I can remember, I'm old enough to remember when Hillary Clinton was questioning the result of the 2016 election. She used different language about it, but she was certainly suggesting that there
She didn't mount legal challenges. She was
No, it was different.
She was at the Capitol for the inauguration.
She certainly was suggesting that this wasn't a fair fight. And I think that the bottom line with, I guess, the American system, I would say, if I was an American defending it, is, well, Trump did leave. He may not have wanted to, and he might have disparaged that election and said it was rigged and so on, which it wasn't. But he...
Honestly, that right there is another example of genuinely why I cannot stand Piers Morgan. I can't, because what the heck is he even talking about, trying to compare what Hillary Clinton done versus what Donald Trump done? Like honestly, Piers Morgan at this point just needs to just come out and be honest and say he's MAGA and he's a Donald Trump shill, because what the heck is he even talking about? There's no comparison between what Hillary Clinton done versus what Donald Trump done. To this very day, Donald Trump still goes around telling the world that the 2020 election was stolen. To this very day, he's still getting his administration to do certain things. What did they do? They went down to, was it Fulton County? I believe it was. I think it was Fulton County. Tulsi Gabbard was there, you know, taking away people's their ballots and whatnot. To this very day, Hillary Clinton made a claim and kept it moving, and saying that Donald Trump, yes, he kept democracy going. He wasn't even present for Biden's inauguration. This is how much of a sore loser this guy is, an absolute clown. But going back to what it is that Sean Spicer said, honestly, I just personally don't believe that the king should be doing this state visit. I don't. I don't believe it makes sense to do it after the way that Donald Trump has been treating the UK. I believe it undermines our prime minister that we have here in the UK. And when you take a look at, like I said, the things that that Trump has said about the UK, talking about our soldiers standing a little bit back, talking about we've got toy ships and stuff like that. This is an individual who doesn't believe in the relationship that the United Kingdom and the US have. He doesn't believe in it at all. And that's the reason as to why, if he did believe in it, he wouldn't be saying the things that it is that he has said. He wouldn't be, but he is, simply because of the fact that he doesn't respect the United Kingdom. And that's the reason as to why the panel repeatedly sniggered when Sean Spicer made the comments that he did. That's the exact reason as to why, because it's a joke. He's obviously a Trump bootlicker. And of course he's going to be like, yes, we believe it should go ahead, because the US have this thing where they just believe they can son little bro absolutely everybody else. But this was a short exchange, and let me know what you guys think about it. Sean Spicer talking absolute rubbish, but I loved the way that John Sopel came back and the points that it is that he made. Donald Trump cannot speak to anyone and cannot have an argument when it comes to anything around democracy, when it comes to anything around his record of upholding and maintaining the Constitution. There has never been a president like Donald Trump that has decimated the Constitution. There's never has been. To this very day, we see the things that it is that he's trying to do. Take a look at what he done yesterday in terms of birthright citizenship. Going to the Supreme Court and actually sitting in, trying to intimidate the Supreme Court justices. This guy's a clown. He doesn't respect the Constitution. And as usual, Sean Spicer just putting together an absolute word salad, talking a bunch of rubbish. Let me know what you guys think about this clip in the comment section below. And while you guys are down there, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hype the video up and give it a thumbs up. And I appreciate you guys. And I'll see you guys in the next one.